It's been a while since we've done a video. I have all of my updates in my Tesla, so I'm all set with FSD, latest update, and everything actually. So I have not done a video in months, and here we go. I'm going to take a 330-mile trip, almost due north. It's going to be just slightly west of north. And so there'll be a tremendous weather difference. Right now it says it's close to 60 degrees and clear where I am. That will deteriorate as best I could tell. And I'm planning to make 3 stops on this trip. So the first stop will be a very fast one, actually. I'm going to stop in Louisville, Kentucky, just north of Louisville, actually. And so I'll kind of keep you updated as we go. So here we go, finally taking a trip. Making a left turn here. I thought you may want to see this, see how we're doing here. I have 2 cars coming on the left. It's an unprotected left. There are no cars on the right. The second car, it's gone. The car, nice turn. Really nice. It started to go pretty quick, and I had to take over there. It was going to make a turn I didn't want to take. So all right, let's see what happens here. We're going to make a right turn here, and by the way, I don't know if you can tell, but it's some beautiful scenery for fall here. As you can see, the trees are turning. There is no one coming on the left. There is now. Let's see what happens. We make our right turn, and we quickly speed up. Another nice turn. So I see some improvements already in FSD, and so right now this road's going to be pretty straight. So I'll wait until we get closer to an interstate. I am coming up shortly in about a half mile. Where I'm going to need to make a left turn. I'm currently in the right lane, so I'm curious to see. Well, here we go. Lane change coming up. We have changed lanes. Nice. So that's 3 for 3. You can see here in the energy consumption for this first leg of my trip, it's saying I'll arrive with just a whole lot energy in the battery, way too much, by the way, at 45%, but that is okay. So right now you can see it's telling me I've gone about 4 miles so far, and we'll see how that 45 does. I'm also going to use the Tesla app, so you'll see that from time to time up here, showing some more detail. Here's the Tesla app. I have it up on the screen. I think there's some fingerprints there. Hopefully you can still see. Kind of shows that right now I'm just driving with a 56% efficiency, and therefore my real world miles are 111 left, though I should have almost 200. So of course it's 56% at 198. Averaging 34 miles per hour. It shows the elevation difference and the external temperature. I've been driving for 9 minutes. I've gone 4.5 miles, but I've used 8 miles of my battery. So we're in a bit of a traffic jam here. The right lane, I don't know if you could see up there, the right lane is closed ahead. About a half mile ago, the car, I guess looking at the map, automatically took me over to the left lane, which was really nice. I'll give you an update on how we're doing here. Again, the Tesla app is saying that we're currently 70% efficient, hoping I can continue to improve that. There's 125 miles of range remaining. We've been averaging 43 miles an hour, have decreased altitude to 240 feet. Temperature is now 51 degrees, though it's 48 according to the car where I am. I've been driving for 28 minutes. I've gone just about 20 miles and used 28 miles of range. It tells me the amount of CO2 that I use, or that I spewed, and I did 6 kilowatt hours so far. So there's one. Now let's look at the Tesla trip. And if you look at the trip, it's kind of interesting. When I started and was leaving home, it was at 49% is what they had. 45 was the projection, and now the projection is 49. So I'm getting ready to turn onto the interstate, and I don't know why the car just did that. Went over one lane, then it went back one lane. So I'm not sure why it did that. Anyway, right now it says I have 85 real miles left. Here it says 147, and on the Tesla app, the 49 is now 42, and it says I have 95 miles left. So nothing good happened as a result of that bit of a traffic jam. So I should be about a half hour away from getting to the supercharger, and we'll let you know when we get there. We're approaching our first stop here. It looks like you could see that we improved slightly in our efficiency to 63%. Certainly not good enough, but lots and lots of construction on Interstate 64 in Kentucky, between Louisville and Lexington. So this is an exit off of the Gene Snyder Expressway, Interstate 265. We have a Meyer here on the right. Let's see, I'm going to take this. It's actually, I know the chargers are way down the other end, and I actually turned a little bit soon myself, so it wasn't a fault of the car or the map, it was me. And over across the street on the left, there's a bit of a shopping center, and it has some stores in it that might be of interest to walk around. And you could see we're coming up finally to the chargers. Unfortunately, I went through a bank parking lot. I don't remember if these are version 3 or not, but we're about to find that out. Oh, and I see they've put in chargers here on the right for non-Tesla vehicles. So great. So let's go ahead. Version 3. I have way too much energy in the car. Anyway, let's see how we did. 64% efficient. We have 65 real miles left. The Tesla app would say we have 102. Drove, let's see. We drove 67 miles, used 105 miles of energy, not good at all. Elevation down 325 feet, average temperature 52 degrees. Took an hour and 32 minutes. A lot of that, almost a half hour of that, was just sitting in a traffic jam. If you remember, this said 45% when we started, and sure enough, 45. Here's where we just sat sitting in that traffic backup. All right, here we go. I'm just going to go to Indianapolis. So I was only here about, I guess, 15 minutes. So we're going to go ahead to Indianapolis. It's 111 miles. It says we'll arrive with 16%. We'll see what is accurate as we begin this leg of our trip. Let's look at some of these numbers before we get going here a little bit more. Right now, let me switch to the Tesla app. This might take a second for it to catch up with where we are. So in the meantime, let me switch to here. This says we'll arrive at the next charging station with 16%. This is the built-in Tesla app. It says we have 150 miles of real range. Back to the Tesla app. We've just started on it, and so let's let this kick in, and we'll show you what we got. Okay, the Tesla app is now catching up to us. So it says we're currently 72% efficient. and we have about 133 miles of range. We've just left, so we're only doing 29 miles an hour, but that'll certainly change rather quickly. So here we go on this next leg of the trip, and let's remember again, 16% estimated at the destination, and we have 133 miles there. So we'll see how we do, and as always, we'll let you know as we arrive. It is update time for you. We are on Interstate 65 heading north towards Indianapolis with our next stop, a supercharger in the southern part of Indianapolis. We are 86% efficient according to Teslab, with 132 real miles left versus 153 on the Tesla app, and 62 degrees now. We have driven about 29 miles and used 33. That's pretty efficient. All seems well there. We've used 7 kilowatt hours so far. Let's change lanes. We're going to look at the Tesla consumption. If you remember, when we started, this was at 16%. It was slightly orange down here. Now it's showing 27%. There's very little wind today. It's clear. There's no inclement weather. So, of course, that's a help. For a bit, not on purpose, but I was drafting behind some trucks. So all of that has helped to make this the way it is. So we'll see what happens as we get closer. Let me give you a status update. We're about 32 miles from our exit south of Indianapolis. Currently our efficiency is 79%. That's been dropping little by little. Don't know if you could see, but one of the issues now is we actually have a headwind that's fairly strong. I would estimate it at around 15 miles an hour. I don't know if you can see the leaves blowing across the road here. So I'm going due north. The wind is coming from the northwest. So that's one of the issues. We're averaging 66 miles an hour. Altitude reduction of 89 feet. Temperature 62. It's currently 61 where we are. We have traveled 77 miles and used 98 miles of range. So not as good as when we started off. We'll look at the Tesla app, the energy. If you remember when we started, it was 16%. It currently is showing our arrival at 19. It had risen quite a bit up into the low 20s, and now it's come back into to 19 here, showing about 79 miles left of range. I'm sorry, 79 miles driven. Sorry. So you could see that we continue to stay above the original line, and we're doing well. I have just gotten off of Interstate 65 at Southport, exit 103, heading north. And let's see here. It looks like I can go right here, and I'm changing lanes. According to this, it's about 0.4 of a mile. So I'm going to leave the camera on for a few minutes. I have not been to this particular charger, so this will be a first time for me here. Here we go. The chargers are straight ahead. It's another Meijer that we are at, and it looks like we're quite a distance away from the store. So I'll get some steps in today, I guess. And by looking at the charger, I would say it's 250 kilowatt. All right, we are plugged in, and it looks like we're going to get, we're at 141 kilowatts, which is pretty good considering where we were. All right, let me see where we're going to stop next. Actually, we're not going to go very far. I'm just going to go north of here, I think, to Kokomo. By the way, I'm at right around 160 kilowatts, which is pretty good, as I mentioned. So let's go ahead and see. Next up, well, it looks like it's saying I can get to my destination from here. I am not going to do that. So let me do that. And looking north here, let me see where this one is. That's Lafayette, Indiana. It's not what I want. Let me see where this one is. I don't know where that one is. I want to go up here. Okay, it says I could stop charging here in 5 minutes to get to Kokomo, where I'll just have to charge for 20 minutes. So all that is really good. And so that's what I'm going to do is I'll just make this a really quick stop here, and we'll move on to Kokomo, and then we'll finish up there. Right now it says I'll arrive at Kokomo with 9%. We're on the next leg of our trip. We just started, so these numbers are not yet meaningful. Anyway, we are leaving Southport, heading towards Kokomo, Indiana. So this is just short, but I wanted to try to just do a quick charge here and a quick charge there. And that's what it looks like I'm going to do. So the estimate from our app is that we'll have 27% upon arrival. The wind is a little bit more brisk even now than it was just before I stopped. So we'll keep monitoring that. And here we go. We're about to take 465 around Indianapolis as we head to Kokomo, Indiana. I thought you might enjoy this as we travel around Indianapolis. This is TesLab app again, showing we're 97% efficient, giving us a range of 113 miles, and average speed is 45 miles an hour, hardly any change there. We traveled 12.1 miles and used 12 miles. That's how you'd want it to be. A couple things. One is been having to go rather slow, so speed, of course, is a big user of energy. And two, the wind has kind of been blocked from me, so it's been mostly wind-free, or at least it feels that way as I'm driving. So let's see, the Tesla app, the 27 is now 30%. I think all that will level off shortly, but I thought you'd be interested to see that. Well, I had to put this on for you, even though it's only been a few minutes. Efficiency 101%, and so at this point I've driven 17.7 miles and used 17 miles. So this is just one of the rare instances that you'll ever see that. And if I look here, it's up to 32%. Again, all that will even out a bit when I get away from this. All right, we are in Kokomo. I don't know if you can see the wind here. Look at that, how that's blowing, and you could see all kinds of dust out to the left. So I've done really well, 89%. I still have 52 miles of range left. I averaged 53 miles an hour. So all in all, this has been a very good leg. So let's go ahead now, and I think we're going to turn left here. I've been here before.
Now turn left onto South Goyer Road.
So it is another Meyer, And this is a 250 kilowatt charger. And again, I don't know if you could see the wind. So this did pretty well because the wind was, again, coming from the northwest as we were heading due north. So it did impact us somewhat, but we still did well. And looks like we're going to end just about where the original prediction was, so that's good. And here we are. So I'm going to pull in here. And the chargers are right over there. I actually could have gone in the other direction if I wanted to. Meyer's over here on the left. Again, it's a pretty good walk. This time I am going to take the walk over. I'm going to decide what to do once I get going here as far as the charge. I may go to, instead of right to my destination, I may actually go to a charger. So we'll have to see what I do here. Looks like we're charging right around 170 kilowatts right now. So we're at 26%. And let me take a look at our travels here and see. Right now it shows minus 16, minus 15%. Has us here for 15 minutes, which isn't much. So I think I am going to go to a charger near my destination and then go to my destination. We are traveling on the last leg of this trip, and we are now just going to go right to our destination, and then I'll go to a charger later in the evening. Anyway, I have a bit of a tailwind now, which is nice. There's a phantom stop, a phantom stop, a phantom stop. 3 in a row. Huh. Anyway, I'm currently, as you can see, at 88%. Shows I have 128 miles remaining, and I probably have about 70 to 75 miles. I don't know why it keeps putting the blinker on. It's been doing this the entire trip. Just keeps putting the blinker on to go left. Anyway, I'm averaging 60 miles an hour, showing 63 degrees at 62 right now. Since the wind is heading more from the southwest, that would make sense. We're getting some warmer air. We started at a 32% projection from Tesla, and we now have a 33%, so it's about the same. So we'll let you know when we get to our destination. Well, my camera didn't work when I got to my destination, so I did arrive in South Bend, Indiana, as planned. I arrived with the amount of energy left that I thought I would arrive with, so all of that was okay. A couple of things during the trip. For the first time, I did the minimum amount of charging and went to the next charger. That really worked well, especially if the charger is right off of the main road, which in both cases it was. So that is clearly the way to go. Instead of doing 35, 40 minutes, I did 10, 15 minutes. That was a big difference. I did note that one of the issues I had was that the directional signal kept going on no matter what I did during this trip. It just kept going on for absolutely no reason. It wasn't where I had to change lanes. It wasn't where I had to do anything. It just kept going on. It was extremely frustrating. And other than that, FSD worked really well when I needed it. The car was fine. The energy levels were really good. So I am happy with the journey I just took.